The ignition sequence has begun it. A total of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 to the skies. There will be a liftoff. What's up, everyone? Hello, my name is the investor in digital assets, and I am currently checking my volumes. I would like to dedicate this portion of the presentation to Mr. B. I am Nick Burafato, and I am the one who is opposed to it. I once again neglected to check my volumes, and I apologize for that. Greetings, I just wanted to let you know that my sponsor link to linqto.com is available for download by you. The platform has just received a new dose of mental breath thanks to these people. That is the largest artificial intelligence chip in the entire planet. Find out more about it. Hello, my name is Jeremy Siegel. Jeremy Siegel is the subject of an intriguing tale that I will share with you. Jeremy Siegel was a man that Morgan Stanley— I'm not a financial advisor anymore. When I was a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley back in the 2000s, beginning in the early 2000s, Jeremy Siegel was at Morgan Stanley. On the other hand, Jeremy Siegel was one of the individuals who contributed to Morgan Stanley's conferences by giving presentations and giving speeches. Consequently, he arrived, and I can recall requesting my father to attend an event that took place in Atlanta, the location where Jeremy Siegel arrived and addressed the gathering. When I think of Jeremy Siegel, I think of him like that. So here he is, right here, discussing the rate drop that was implemented by the Federal Reserve. However, Professor Siegel, this is not necessarily what you anticipated the Federal Reserve would do, rather, it is what you believe the Fed ought to do. How do you feel about the situation this morning? This was the most encouraging piece of information that I have received from the Federal Reserve in recent years. And just so you know, I can assure you that the stock market is currently at an all-time high. There will not be a back and forth like there was yesterday. This is not going to happen. In addition, the word recalibrating has a heavy weight of importance. I believe that what they did was the following: they looked at and they said, listen, we are 100% towards our target unemployment rate. As of right now, that is back to normal. Depending on the data that you use to analyze inflation, we are anywhere from 80 to 100%. On the other hand, we haven't made any adjustments to the Fed funds since yesterday. As you are aware, we believe that the neutral Fed funds rate is 2.9%. Also, I'm curious as to why we aren't becoming closer to one another. At this very moment, we are contemplating that gap, which is precisely what I was talking about in the previous month. These are not the infant steps. Regard the chasm that exists. That is truly remarkable, and now what I think about it. As of the meeting in June, they believed that there would be one reduction in staff before the end of the year. There is now the meeting in September, and by the way, the data hasn't changed all that much since the last time we met. We made 4 cuts to that yesterday, 1 at each of the other meetings. Now, we have 4 cuts to that, and by the way, I've been trying to figure out what I see in the market, and I've noticed that they anticipate making 1 cut at each of the 6 meetings that we are going to have between now and June of the next year. Through this action, the federal funds down rate will be reduced by 200 basis points, reaching 3.33%, which is the level that I believe it ought to be. To put it another way, this is, without a doubt, wonderful news for the market. Alright, if I'm not mistaken, they were Ralph Paul. In my opinion, he did this the night before. Again, don't mess this up in any way. Be careful, that's all. Purchase and hold, maintain a long-term time perspective, and acquire the ability to tolerate discomfort. The thesis that suddenly we are all going to tend to the Neanderthals and nobody is going to use technology ever again is going up. And when there is pain, you buy more. Unless something changes, the thesis is going up. That is the simplest explanation. In addition, we will transition to blockchain technology unless there is a shift that confirms that we are not disrupting the financial system and that the internet has been eliminated. That is the simplest explanation. It is sufficient for you to know that. Everything else is nothing more than a bunch of noise. I concur with you. That being said, you can see that I believe this market was at approximately $2.09 trillion the day before the Fed dropped its interest rate. At this moment, it is $2.17 trillion. XRP has reached a price of 58.5 cents. Earlier this morning, I observed something going around. Gary Cohen, a former head of Goldman Sachs, was quoted as saying, "It's an uptown saw," had said, and I thoroughly enjoyed it when Hodor highlighted this comment in 2018. It takes time to accomplish these things, and Hodor had stated, no, Hodor, for those of you who aren't aware of this, when I initially appeared on the scene in May of 2018, he was, when I met him. I believe that he was the only person in social media that Brad Garlinghouse had mentioned by name up until that point in time. He was the only person I ever heard him mention by name. Alright. He maintained a blog that was known as the Hodor blog, and it had some of the most interesting content. It was possible to read some of the most upbeat and motivational things that he had to say regarding the future of XRP on his website. He was a very intelligent individual. I, on the other hand, am completely in agreement with the things that he wrote and continue as well. This is one of them, if you will. I am curious as to which types of digital assets he is referring about. That would be Gary Cohen. I am confident that we will, at some point in the future, have a global cryptocurrency that is understood by everyone across the world, and that is not dependent on the prices of mining or the expenses of electricity. This is something that I came across, and I thought to myself, well, I know a lot of great quote. Alas, from Hodor, I responded by saying, oh, to be sure, this is a classic. But this is also a classic. This is a tweet that I sent out in the year 2021. The following is a quotation from Hodor, who is predicting that Ripple will be worth $1 trillion at the current price of XRP. The current price of XRP is $17 USD. Additionally, the price will not stop at $17 in order to ensure that you are intellectually and emotionally prepared for it. It will continue to move beyond this artificial framework that causes people to feel uneasy. The following was yet another entry from his blog, which was published on October 29, 2017. In June, a former employee of Ripple informed me that he had no intention of relying on his XRP for his daily needs until the price of the cryptocurrency reached a considerably greater level. Moreover, he is able to, and he appeared to be entirely confident in this evaluation. Sometimes hearing these kinds of comments from former employees can be a profound testament to Ripple's business plan and the probability that they will be able to achieve a significant level of success in their endeavors with XRP. This is despite the fact that official company statements are important and have the potential to make a positive difference. Ripple's chief cryptographer David Schwartz recently published a brief article on Reddit in which he discussed the many price possibilities for XRP subject to a number of different scenarios. The range of his predictions is anything from $2 to $120, and he makes a statement that is really insightful not too far into the discussion. Ripple's market cap reaching the same level as that of Bitcoin at some point in the not-too-distant future does not appear to be any more absurd to me at this point. Compared to how I felt about the possibility of a Bitcoin being sold for more than $1,000 in the year 2012, it is possible that the market may look back on this statement as a tremendously accurate prediction of the path that XRP may go in the future. The current market capitalization of Bitcoin may be nothing more than a footnote on its way to surpassing all of these price projections if XRP is adopted for actual production usage by an increasing number of banks. The 9th of October 2017 was the date. Right before Eastgate was set into motion, the bad men launched their campaign against Ripple and XRP. Here is Donald Trump yesterday at a Bitcoin bar in New York City. Eastgate was put into motion right before the bad guys started their campaign. Regarding Donald Trump, I believe he is currently in a bar in the heart of New York City known as the Pub Key, which is located in the heart of Manhattan. If you guys are interested, we could try to play some sound here and see if he has anything to say. I had no idea that that thing contained any kind of music. Because of all of that, I don't want to be protected by copyright. My decision is to move on from this situation. However, I do want to show you one or two of these, so I'm going to forego that one for the time being. It's going to be interesting to see which one has the most views. So let's see. This collection of clips from Congress was uploaded by Bankless. I'm going to play the one that has the most views for you because Congress had some folks who had tried to go in and come in and talk to Gary Gensler yesterday. I'm going to focus on the one that has the most views. Let's find out which one it is. 20. Now let's go on to the final one. Let's give this one a shot. Without wallets that are self-hosted, cryptocurrency cannot function. That is the point in question. Because of this, they refer to it as hidden money. I do not wish to take on his role. It's a shame. One of them. In the course of Mr. Gensler's testimony before the Committee with Jurisdiction over Financial Services, I inquired as to whether or not the purchase and selling of a Pokemon card constitutes a security transaction. Aid into a security. It is important to note that the Supreme Court has stated that the form of the transaction is not the most important factor. If one applies the reasoning of the Supreme Court to the hypothetical situation with Pokemon, the most important thing is the content, which is the economic reality of the transaction. There is no significance in the fact that a Pokemon card can take on a tokenized form. What really matters is the economic reality that lies behind the surface of the Pokemon sale. Without regard to the tokenized form it takes in light of this, would it be accurate to assert that the economic reality of acquiring a collection such as a Pokemon card is qualitatively distinct from the economic reality of purchasing a security such as an Apple stock? Alright, this is very interesting. Now, when it comes to the LEVM side, they are discussing the smart contracts that are connected to XRP. I'm not sure if I've ever taken part in this game before. In any case, we will play it once again. In addition, blockchain is essential because there is a form of, you can't truly have one blockchain that is good for everything. Whenever you are working on a development project, you will inevitably have